Few people realize that certain culinary missteps can turn a common food, like eggs, into a potential health hazard. Eggs are traditionally praised as one of the most valuable sources of high-quality protein, rich in essential vitamins and nutrients. However, the general public often doesn't realize that if handled incorrectly, this product can harm health in ways they might not have previously considered. The truth is, the benefits or harmful effects of eggs are entirely determined by how they are cooked, stored, and consumed. The following sections will highlight 5 common mistakes that can make eggs detrimental rather than beneficial to your health. Some of these oversights might come as a surprise, especially to those who have eaten eggs habitually for years without considering the consequences. Nevertheless, once these key mistakes are understood, you can continue to enjoy eggs without worrying about hidden health risks. It's not just about avoiding errors, but about implementing simple yet significant changes that can profoundly impact your overall health and well-being. We will explore in detail what happens when eggs are prepared incorrectly and what steps you can take to ensure they remain a safe and nutritious part of your daily diet. For those looking to keep eggs as a health-boosting superfood rather than a hidden threat, this information will prove invaluable. 1. Overcooking or overfrying eggs. One of the most common culinary mistakes when cooking eggs is overheating them. Although eggs are rich in high-quality protein, healthy fats, and essential vitamins, cooking them at excessively high temperatures can cause undesirable changes in their chemical composition. When eggs are overfried until a characteristic brown crust forms, overcooked until the yolk turns a grayish-green hue, or exposed to high heat, they inevitably undergo oxidation. This, in turn, can lead to the formation of harmful compounds, particularly oxidized cholesterol, which is closely associated with increased inflammation in the body and a higher risk of cardiovascular diseases. If you've ever noticed a strong sulfuric smell after boiling eggs for too long, it's a clear indicator of overcooking. This phenomenon is explained by a chemical reaction. Sulfur in the egg whites interacts with iron in the yolk, forming iron sulfide. While this compound itself doesn't make the egg toxic, its presence clearly indicates nutrient damage and degradation during heat treatment. Over time, regular consumption of overcooked eggs can contribute to long-term health issues. This problem is particularly relevant for older adults who are more vulnerable to conditions associated with chronic inflammation due to age. As a clear example, consider Robert's story. At 76, he had eaten eggs for breakfast daily for many years, preferring to fry them until crispy, genuinely believing this method made them tastier. However, over time, Robert began to notice increasing digestive discomfort and more frequent bouts of heartburn. After learning about the potential dangers of oxidized cholesterol, he decided to change his cooking habits, switching to preparing eggs over low heat, aiming for a soft consistency rather than aggressive frying. Within just a few weeks, he felt a noticeable improvement in his well-being, reduced bloating, and significantly increased energy levels throughout the day. Beyond the formation of harmful compounds, another significant issue with overcooking eggs is the potential destruction of some of their key nutrients. Eggs are a rich source of vitamin B12, folic acid, and powerful antioxidants like lutein and zeaxanthin, which are vital for brain and eye health. However, prolonged exposure to high temperatures significantly reduces the bioavailability of these essential nutrients. This means your body might not fully benefit from the eggs you consume, even if they are part of your diet. For those who view eggs as a primary food source, the correct cooking approach is as critically important as their consumption itself. The good news is there's no need to eliminate eggs from your diet to avoid these risks. Simply be mindful and attentive to the cooking process. Cooking eggs at lower temperatures, whether lightly boiling, poaching, or gently scrambling, helps preserve their nutritional properties while minimizing oxidation. When frying, using moderate heat and avoiding excessive browning can significantly help retain their beneficial qualities. Such seemingly minor changes in cooking habits can make a colossal difference in maximizing the benefits of your food while eliminating unnecessary health risks. 2. Consuming raw or undercooked eggs. Many people believe that consuming raw or undercooked eggs is the optimal way to get the maximum amount of nutrients. However, they often don't realize that this approach carries serious health risks. Although eggs are rich in protein, vitamins, and minerals, eating them raw can expose your body to harmful bacteria like Salmonella, which can cause severe food poisoning. This danger is particularly relevant for older adults, as their immune systems naturally weaken with age, making it harder to fight off infections. What might result in only mild discomfort for a young person can become a life-threatening condition for an elderly individual. If you've ever consumed foods like homemade mayonnaise, raw cookie dough, or soft-boiled eggs, there's a chance you unknowingly put yourself at risk. Salmonella infection, though relatively rare, should never be taken lightly. Symptoms can include fever, severe abdominal cramps, diarrhea, and even dehydration. For older adults, this can quickly escalate into a serious health issue, requiring hospitalization in severe cases. While many consumers are convinced of the absolute safety of store-bought eggs, even the cleanest-looking ones can contain bacteria if they haven't been properly handled or stored. Consider the case of Margaret, a 68-year-old woman who for years loved starting her mornings with a raw egg smoothie. She did this for years, genuinely believing it was the best way to absorb all the nutrients. But one day, she experienced severe abdominal pain and nausea that lasted for several days. After a doctor's visit, she was diagnosed with salmonellosis. She never suspected that the eggs she had consumed for so long could be the cause of her illness. After switching to fully cooked eggs, she had no further incidents and continued to receive the same nutrients without any risk. Another compelling reason to avoid raw eggs is the presence of a compound called avidin. Avidin has the ability to bind with biotin, an important B vitamin that plays a key role in maintaining metabolism, normal nerve function, and healthy skin and hair. When eggs are consumed raw, avidin prevents the body from properly absorbing biotin, which can lead to a deficiency over time. Cooking eggs deactivates avidin, allowing your body to absorb all the beneficial nutrients without hindrance. Some people insist that raw eggs are safe if sourced from organic or free-range farms. However, the truth is that any egg, regardless of its origin, can potentially contain bacteria. The best way to protect yourself is to ensure eggs are fully cooked. Scrambled eggs, hard-boiled eggs, and poached eggs cooked until the whites and yolks are firm are perfectly safe options. If you prefer runny yolks, using pasteurized eggs can significantly reduce the risk. Nevertheless, thorough cooking always remains the most reliable choice. 3. Improper storage of cooked eggs. Many people don't pay enough attention to properly storing eggs after they've been cooked. However, it's crucial to understand that incorrect storage can turn a perfectly prepared dish into a breeding ground for harmful bacteria. If eggs are left at room temperature for too long or stored improperly, they quickly become unsafe to eat. Bacteria multiply at an astonishing rate in warm conditions. Once cooked eggs enter the danger zone, 40 to 60 degrees Celsius or 40 to 140 degrees Fahrenheit. Harmful pathogens can begin to multiply rapidly in just a few hours. This is particularly dangerous for older adults, as food poisoning generally affects them much more severely than younger individuals. If you've ever left a plate of scrambled eggs on the counter for a couple of hours and then still eaten them, there's a chance you unknowingly put yourself at risk. The longer cooked eggs remain outside the refrigerator, the higher the likelihood of dangerous bacteria like Salmonella, Listeria, and E. coli developing in them. While refrigerating cooked eggs can slow bacterial growth, they should always be properly stored in an airtight container and consumed within a few days. For instance, hard-boiled eggs are best eaten within a week, while scrambled or fried eggs are best consumed within 3 to 4 days. As an example, consider George, a 72-year-old man who liked to cook a large batch of scrambled eggs at the beginning of the week to save time on daily cooking. He would leave them in a loosely covered container in the refrigerator, taking a portion each morning. But after several bouts of stomach discomfort and nausea, he realized his storage habits might be the cause of his ailments. By switching to airtight containers and preparing smaller portions, he completely eliminated his previous digestive issues. Another serious problem with improperly stored eggs is the risk of cross-contamination. If cooked eggs are placed in close proximity to raw meat, unwashed vegetables, or other potentially contaminated foods, they can absorb harmful bacteria. Many people mistakenly believe that cooked eggs are safe because they have already undergone heat treatment. However, once cooled, they become just as vulnerable to bacterial contamination as any other perishable food. One frequently overlooked mistake is improper reheating of eggs. If you've ever reheated leftover eggs in a microwave and noticed a rubbery texture or an unpleasant smell, it's because eggs don't reheat well. Overheating can not only destroy valuable nutrients, but also create a tough, unappetizing texture. The best method is to gently reheat eggs on the stovetop over low heat, adding a small amount of moisture, such as water or broth, to prevent them from drying out. If microwave use is unavoidable, heat them in short intervals, stirring occasionally to best preserve an acceptable texture. If your goal is to prevent food poisoning and get the most benefit from eggs, it's crucial to ensure they are stored correctly. Keep them refrigerated and consume them within safe time frames. How you handle your food can make a critical difference to your health. And something as simple as proper egg storage can prevent unnecessary digestive issues and help you feel your best. 4. Using damaged or expired eggs. One of the simplest ways to turn eggs into a health threat is by consuming cracked, expired, or improperly stored ones. While eggs may look perfectly normal on the outside, if they are past their prime or even have a tiny crack in the shell, they can harbor dangerous bacteria like Salmonella. This is especially critical for older adults, as the aging process naturally weakens the immune system, making it harder to fight off infections that younger individuals might recover from more easily. If you've ever opened your fridge and questioned the usability of your eggs, know that it's a common scenario. Many rely solely on the printed expiration date on the carton. However, they don't realize that eggs can sometimes spoil before that date or, conversely, last a bit longer depending on specific storage conditions. The best way to check for freshness is a simple water test. Just place an egg in a bowl of cold water. If it sinks and lies flat on the bottom, it's fresh. If it stands upright, it's still good to eat, but should be used soon. If the egg floats to the surface, it's best to discard it without hesitation. Take Evelyn, for example. At 74, she was always careful about her food choices, but never really thought about checking eggs before use. One morning, she cracked an egg in her pan and noticed a strange, unpleasant smell, but she dismissed it and cooked it anyway. A few hours later, she began experiencing nausea and severe abdominal cramps. After a doctor's visit, she learned she had food poisoning caused by a spoiled egg. From that day on, Evelyn started performing the water test before using eggs and has never faced similar issues again. Another important factor to consider is how eggs are handled before they reach your home. If eggs have been stored at the wrong temperature, whether at the store, during transport, or even in your own refrigerator, condensation can form on them. This creates an ideal environment for bacteria to thrive. That's why it's crucial to always store eggs in the coldest part of your refrigerator, not in the door, where temperature fluctuations are more common and significant. Cracked eggs pose another hidden danger. Even if an egg appears whole when purchased, tiny, barely visible cracks can serve as entry points for bacteria. If you accidentally bring home a cracked egg, it's better to discard it than risk your health. The same applies to eggs with an unusual smell or discoloration. These are clear and unambiguous signs that they have spoiled and are absolutely forbidden for consumption. 5. Combining eggs with harmful vegetable oils. One of the most common mistakes when preparing eggs is using the wrong type of cooking oil. While eggs themselves are rich in high-quality protein, healthy fats, and essential nutrients, the oil chosen for their preparation can completely alter the dish's nutritional value. It can turn a nutritious meal into something that promotes inflammation and long-term health risks. Many people don't realize that some oils, especially highly processed vegetable oils, break down at high temperatures. This process leads to the formation of harmful compounds that can damage the body over time. If you've ever fried eggs in margarine, vegetable oil, or other refined seed oils like soybean, corn, or canola, there's a chance you unknowingly expose yourself to trans fats and oxidized lipids. These unhealthy fats are closely linked to increased inflammation, the development of cardiovascular diseases, and even cognitive decline in older adults. Unlike natural fats that the body can process efficiently, trans fats disrupt normal cellular function, leading to long-term damage over time. Older adults, in particular, should exercise extra caution regarding fat intake, as chronic inflammation is associated with various age-related conditions, including arthritis and cardiovascular pathologies. Consider Frank, a 78-year-old man who had cooked eggs in vegetable oil for decades. He never gave it much thought, assuming oil was just oil. However, after learning about the dangers of highly processed seed oils, he decided to switch to healthier alternatives like butter and olive oil. Within just a few weeks, he noticed he felt less sluggish after meals, and his digestion significantly improved. He hadn't changed the composition of his diet, only the cooking method, and this small change had a noticeable impact on his well-being every day. Another issue with vegetable oils is their smoke point, the temperature at which they begin to break down and release harmful compounds. Many vegetable oils have a low smoke point, meaning they're unstable when exposed to high temperatures. When this happens, they produce free radicals, unstable molecules that can damage cells and accelerate the aging process. If you frequently fry eggs at high temperatures using these oils, you might unknowingly induce oxidative stress in your body. The best approach is to choose oils that remain stable when heated. Butter, ghee, coconut oil, and extra virgin olive oil are all excellent options for cooking eggs. These fats not only enhance the flavor of your dish, but also provide your body with essential nutrients that support brain health, heart function, and overall well-being. If you prefer a lighter option, avocado oil is another superb choice, as it has a high smoke point and a healthy balance of monounsaturated fats. The main takeaway here is that it's not just what you eat, but how you prepare it. Eggs are a fantastic source of nutrients. However, if cooked with the wrong oil, they can transform from a health-boosting food into something that contributes to inflammation and disease development. Making a simple change in your cooking habits can significantly impact your long-term health, ensuring you get all the benefits from the eggs you consume. Final thoughts. Now that these 5 common mistakes have been discussed, it's worth taking a moment to reflect on how each of us has been cooking and consuming eggs. While eggs are one of the most nutritious foods available, small changes in how they are prepared, stored, and handled can make all the difference. They can determine whether you are supporting your health or unknowingly putting your body at risk. The good news is that avoiding these mistakes is quite simple. Once these changes are implemented, you can enjoy eggs in a way that truly benefits your body. If you've been overcooking eggs, try reducing the cooking temperature to preserve their nutrients and avoid harmful oxidation. If you've been consuming them raw or undercooked, consider switching to fully cooked eggs to significantly reduce the risk of food poisoning. Proper storage is equally important. Keeping cooked eggs refrigerated and handling them carefully can prevent bacterial growth. If you've never thought about checking for cracks or expiration dates, a simple water test can help ensure your eggs are fresh and safe to eat. Finally, using the right cooking oil can make a crucial difference, helping you avoid unnecessary inflammation while boosting the nutritional value of your dish. Your body relies on the food you consume to function at its best. Making smarter decisions about how your food is prepared can have a long-term positive impact on your energy levels, digestion, and overall health. It's not about giving up eggs, but about enjoying them in a way that maximizes their benefits and minimizes potential risks.